Hello, how are you? My name is Fatima, and I have been working in software development for 8 years. Currently, I work as a Scrum Master in Paradigma Digital, in most cases in Sprint projects. Recently, I started to organize the meetup Sprint Madrid user group, supported by Paradigma Digital, and we try to celebrate the meetings once a month. And the next meetings are about Spring Cloud on April. And on May, we will have the visit of Josh Long with his talk, Java Native Cloud, a little piece of the next conference, Spring I/O, in Barcelona. Well, today I want to talk to you about RAML, a RESTful API modeling language used as a new specification to manage the lifecycle of our APIs. There are a lot of tools to design, build, test, document, and share the APIs built over RAML. And the specification format looks like YAML, the markup language used for example, in Spring Boot configuration files. So we can describe how our REST APIs should behave and return values in a friendly known language. Furthermore, a RAML documentation is to an API what a WSDL document is to a SOAP service, but easier to write, manage, and understand as a XML file. After this short introduction, I want to focus on some of the lifecycle API phases: design, document, and testing. Firstly, to design our APIs, we can use tools such as, for example, API Design or API Workbench. In Paradigma Digital, we have started to use the API Design tool of MuleSoft to describe our REST APIs. This is the example. And currently, some of our projects are, in part, REST APIs implemented as microservices with a Spring Boot. These microservices are consumed by external third parties or by front-end development made by a team member in Paradigma. So in both cases, we can design our APIs and their behavior before starting to develop and use the RAML document generated as a contract for third parties. Unlike Swagger, for example, we can document the API before the code and anticipate to deliver this information for these third parties. Also, we can generate the documentation, for example, in the API console of MuleSoft, this example, or with the tool RAML2HTML, writing for Node.js, which is a tool that generates a single HTML page console based on a RAML definition. There are other looks like RAML for JAX-RS or RAML2HTML for PHP or something like that. You can search tools for any phases of the API lifecycle in raml.org, as you can see here. And when talking about testing of our APIs, in many cases, the front developers cannot start to work in the development and testing of the axis of the APIs until the backends finish their work. But if we can design and document the APIs before, we can expose them and front-ends, we can expose them to front-ends or third parties can start to work testing the APIs. On the other hand, backends can test the implementation of the API using a library called RAML tester that allows testing if the request and response match a given RAML definition. Now, I want to show you a video to quickly illustrate how to create, design, and try an API with RAML and MuleSoft tools. And moreover, we can use this example to see how to use RAML tester library in a test with Spock. So we go to see the video. Here we have a little example. Using TDD principles, I could write a Spock test using the RAML tester library. And we specify the API RAML doc and the URI, and test if our API matches with the spec. So now I could write a REST controller and a class that matches to the specification, as you can see here. And that's it. Thank you so much. There are some questions. So, yes?
Is there any comparison versus Swagger? So what would be the killer feature for RAML versus the alternatives?
You can write the documentation before the code. In Swagger, you get the documentation after the code. In this case, you can get the documentation and the specification before you code the API. That's all? Thank you.